Picture this, it's 2 a.m. Your eyes suddenly open. The house is silent, everything is dark. You check your phone, try to fall back asleep, but it just won't happen. A part of you starts to wonder if something is wrong with you. Actually, nothing is wrong. Your body might simply be echoing a habit that was completely normal for humans just a couple of centuries ago. In this video, we'll look at how humans shifted from sleeping in two separate blocks to sleeping in one continuous stretch, the historical and scientific reasons behind that shift, and what it might have to do with the sleep troubles so many of us have today. In the 1990s, American historian Roger Ekirch stumbled onto something strange during an unrelated research project. Old English court records, diaries, and literary texts kept mentioning two recurring phrases: first sleep and second sleep. This wasn't a coincidence. Over years of archival research, Ekirch uncovered thousands of references showing that before industrialization, people across Europe regularly slept in two distinct blocks each night. The pattern went like this: people would go to bed an hour or two after sunset, sleep for a few hours, then wake up naturally in the middle of the night. This waking period would last an hour or two, and people were fully awake and active during it. This middle-of-the-night waking period wasn't wasted time. It was a normal, expected part of daily life. People used this time to pray, reflect on their dreams, pay short visits to neighbors, talk with family, do small household chores, and, according to some historical accounts, this hour was also seen as a natural time for intimacy between couples. Some records even suggest this quiet stretch was considered especially suited for creative thought and dream interpretation. So waking up in the middle of the night wasn't seen as a disorder the way we might think of it today. It was simply an accepted part of how the night unfolded. So how did this pattern disappear? Much of the answer comes down to something surprisingly simple: light. Before industrialization, artificial lighting was expensive. Candles and oil lamps were costly and gave off limited light. So once the sun went down, daily life largely came to a stop, and people spent the rest of the evening in darkness with very limited activity. As street lighting spread through cities in the 17th and 18th centuries, and coffee houses began staying open late into the night, nightlife slowly became a mark of status and leisure, and people started using the night more actively. The real turning point came with the Industrial Revolution. Unlike agricultural life, which followed the rhythm of the sun, factories ran on the clock. Workers needed to arrive at a set hour, work a fixed shift, and be ready to do the same again the next day. In this new world, splitting the night in two and staying awake for hours in the middle became an impractical luxury. Time itself was reshaped around the idea of efficiency, and sleep, like work, became something that needed to be standardized. The spread of the electric light bulb in the late 19th century completed this shift. People could now light up the night as much as they wanted, push their bedtime later, and compress everything into one uninterrupted block of sleep before waking to an alarm. According to Ekirch's research, this transition happened remarkably fast, within about 1 or 2 generations, roughly 50 to 60 years. By the 1920s, the very concepts of first sleep and second sleep had almost completely vanished from cultural memory. So is this just a historical curiosity, or is there a biological reality behind it? In the 1990s, psychiatrist Thomas Wehr ran a fascinating experiment. He kept a group of participants away from modern artificial light, exposing them to 14 hours of darkness a day, recreating conditions similar to a pre-industrial winter night. Within a few weeks, their sleep patterns changed on their own. They would sleep for a few hours, wake for a calm period of an hour or two, and then fall back asleep. In other words, even modern humans, when returned to a natural light cycle, could revert to the segmented sleep pattern of their ancestors. This suggests that waking up in the middle of the night may not be the abnormal event we assume it is. Some sleep researchers now believe that at least part of what we call insomnia today might actually be the body trying to recall a much older rhythm. Does any of this have practical meaning for our lives now? Some sleep experts suggest that if you wake up in the middle of the night and can't fall back asleep, instead of checking the clock and panicking, it may help to treat it as a natural tendency of the body. Staying calmly awake in the dark for a while, reading, breathing slowly, letting your mind wander may help you drift back to sleep without adding extra stress to the moment. The modern expectation of 8 uninterrupted hours of sleep may be less of a universal biological requirement and more of an invention of industrial society. So the next time your eyes open in the middle of the night, maybe there's nothing wrong with you. Maybe your body is simply reminding you of a calm, accepted habit your ancestors practiced for centuries. Have you ever experienced a moment like this in the middle of the night? Let us know in the comments.